Today's port report is from Trondheim, Norway, where the cliche old meets new is for real and way cool. We explore the port, transport options, and 5 town highlights during our brief time here. I'm Troy, and this is the Port Lowdown. Trondheim is on the Trondheim Fjord, naturally, in central Norway. It's the country's 3rd largest city and a center for high-tech education and research. There's also a rich history, particularly with Norwegian royalty and trade. Nidaros Cathedral and the Old Bridge and Shopping Street district of Bakklandet are the main highlights. Ship excursions offer mostly tours of the town, with the occasional stop at the Folksmuseum at Sverresborg. But this city is totally doable on your own. For such a dynamic place, the port itself is underwhelming, with no terminal to speak of but a parking lot and some tents. You land at the north part of the city at Bartora, where there's a single berth that can accommodate more in other parts of the city. Rockheim, the country's rock history museum, is right in your face, along with a huge indoor swimming facility and a high-tech research firm. Nice volunteers were there to hand out maps, but unless you're on a tour off to the side, it's time to start walking. The good news is most everything of interest is close by, and the walk is really pleasant. The city is very modern, very beautiful, very clean, and quite a pleasure to walk down. There's a sitting area for enjoying the harbor view with lots of nice benches while you enjoy an ice cream at Siemens S-Bar. Is it possible for me to grow old like this guy? I can always dream. Walking is the easiest transport choice. No, really. Go straight down the sidewalk, turn right, and walk for about 5 minutes. You'll see the yellow submarine sculpture on your right, and then turn left across the street and over the bridge. Once you're on the other side, just cross the Sondre Bridge and you're in town, where it's flat and scenic all the way. Getting to Nidaros Cathedral will take about 30 minutes on foot, just about 5 minutes longer to the Old Bridge and Bakklandet. Biking is another great option. Some folks bring their folding bikes on the cruise, and that's an idea I should be trying sometime. The city is quite bike-friendly with dedicated lanes and flat streets. A few choices here. Trondheim City Bike has a rental app where you can access bikes parked in various locations. There's one at the hotel near the port. And Trondheim Bike Adventures has a store directly across from the port, next door to Rockheim, with e-bikes, roads, and hybrids. Now there's the public transportation system, buses, trams, run by ATB. Their website is quite easy to navigate, with an interactive map where you can plug in your beginning and ending points visually with preset location pointers, so no typing involved. They also have an app, of course, for easy payment info and routes. Then there's Wheels. Uber works fine here, so that would be our go-to option. There's also TronderTaxi, the city's taxi service. The call-in number is listed here. If that doesn't work, try this one. Now let's go over some town highlights from our 6 hours we had here, working our way in a loop back to the ship. Number 1, thrift shopping. We crossed the Sondre Bridge and took our first right down Fjordgata, where we found a street lined with secondhand stores and other cool stuff. If you saw our European tips video, here's a link, my wife picked up a snazzy Swedish coat here at Fretex Bruktbutikk, a secondhand store. These are owned by local people and donated, and inexpensive.
Walter Hammers.
That's one advantage of DIY. You can discover these hidden gems. And if you're like us and you enjoy your DIY adventures at port too, be sure to like and subscribe to get our weekly port reports, ship tours, and tips. Number 2, Stiftsgarden Park and Town Square. En route to the cathedral, we passed through this wonderful little park facing the royal family's city residence. The park is a lovely pit stop, where the dive-bombing seabirds mingle with views of a royal backyard. During the summer, the residence is open for guided tours. Just a short walk south and you'll find the town square, where you can grab a quick lunch or snack. American ice cream. I don't think we actually make them with really long cones, but I might be wrong. And stare up at the statue of Olav Tryggvason, the Viking city founder and patron saint of Norway. Number 3, Nidaros Cathedral and Archbishop's Palace. Continue walking for about 10 minutes south and you'll see what they built around Olaf's tomb. This magnificent cathedral took 230 years to build. Somehow they lost Olaf's body, but it's in there somewhere. This is the top site in the city and past home to royal coronations. It's truly massive and loaded with interest, from the grand interior to the ornate artwork and statues and the crypts. Even though the crowds flock here, it never feels jammed. Pay a little more for the combo ticket to enter the Archbishop's Palace, which includes the royal regalia, the crown jewels, the highlight of this section. The other museums in the square are not as essential, but worth a look if you have time. The cathedral and palace is doable in about 2 hours at a decent pace. Number 4, Bakklandet district. Just a short 5-minute walk northeast is the city's other iconic site, the Old Town Bridge across the Delva River, entering the merchant district of Bakklandet. Selfie and Instagram heaven. And small, so you'll be jostling with everyone else for that classic river shot with the pastel houses. Now mind the sidewalks, it's a heavy cobblestone area. And the shops and restaurants are high-end, so if you're on a budget, pack a lunch or try the 7-Eleven. You can eat that hot dog along the river, with more iconic views and battles with seabirds. They don't play around here. If you don't spend time shopping or getting a tattoo, it's fun to wander the old market streets for about an hour. It's a small district, but loaded with atmosphere. By the way, on the way out is a Rima 1000 market, if you need sundries. And finally, number 5, Rockheim. It'll take about a 25 to 30 minute walk north to the port area of Bertora. We enjoyed the stroll, but you can take an Uber if time is tight. Here, facing the ship, is Rockheim, an interactive museum dedicated to pop music in Norway. Now, you've probably heard of Aha from Oslo, but there's so much more to Norway's music scene as we soon discovered. The displays are ultra high-tech, fun, and interactive, as to be expected. But the biggest impression of this place is depth. There's a lot of artists, styles, and stories to take in. There's also opportunities to practice your dance moves, be a DJ house artist, or take in a specialty exhibit. We definitely came away with a deeper appreciation for Norwegian culture, worth a good 2 hours. This was easily one of my favorite cities in Norway. It's cool, historic, beautiful, and loaded with more things than we had time for. Not to mention compact and easy to get around. You really can't go wrong here. Have you been to Trondheim or have any questions? Let us know in the comments.